Sausage.
Hello everyone, this is Attack the Backlog, the podcast where I, Marc, tries to make a dent in their backlog one game at a time. This episode is all about Cat Quest 2, the sequel to Cat Quest 1, which adds a playable dog companion and doubles down on the cat puns with dog puns to go along with them now. It's still as cute as it ever was and brings the series to Xbox for the first time, which is where I played it. Cat Quest 2 originally came out on September 19th, 2019 for PC, PS4, Switch, iOS, and Xbox One. What the hell happened? How did I go from loving the first game to hating the second? Cat Quest 2 is just more Cat Quest. I should be in heaven, right? Except it's more than just more Cat Quest, it's more Cat Quest. Maybe my complaints weren't in the first game or significantly less prominent, but it's been long enough that all I remember of the first game is liking my entire time with it. Fast forward a year and change later and I've either grown more bitter and miserable than I already was, or Cat Quest 2 really just is that disappointing. It's probably a bit of both. Why the change of heart? The number one reason is a combination of playability, challenge, and visual comprehension. My biggest complaint and frustration comes from how hectic many of the fights become. Once you start fighting more than 2 enemies at a time, which happens more often than not, the screen becomes cluttered with effects, so much so that it's hard to read the screen and what's happening on it. And when more and more enemies are attacking at once, the window for you to attack grows smaller and smaller as one enemy will attack when the other isn't, and you find yourself in a vicious cycle of being able to do nothing because there's always at least one enemy attacking at all times. Because of this, I restarted the game on baby mode after my initial hour because you can't change the difficulty mid-game, and this made my experience much better, but it didn't make the game better. What I'm saying is, baby mode makes Cat Quest 2 more playable, but it doesn't make it more fun or enjoyable, only less frustrating and annoying. Fights are still cluttered messes, the only difference is, now you won't die repeatedly from said messes unless you're fighting something 20 levels higher than you, of course. Changing the difficulty doesn't change the fact that the fun of combat is gone because instead of strategically attacking and retreating between enemy attacks, you just go in, balls deep, and hope you come out the other side with your head above water. The most significant part of the gameplay, the thing you do the most, has become a chore and, probably because of that, it taints everything else around it. Do you like cat puns? I thought I did, but then I played Cat Quest 2 and quickly grew tired of them. How about dog puns? No? Well, shit. I guess you better skip all the dialogue because if the characters aren't punning it up, they don't have much to say, at least nothing particularly memorable. Why dog puns, you ask? Cat Quest 2, as I mentioned earlier, adds a second playable character in the form of a dog which you can switch to on the fly in single player or have a buddy control if you happen to have a real life friend willing to endure the game with you. At the very least, Cat Quest 2 is still a beautiful game with vibrant, colorful art that still feels like it was ripped out of a children's book with a pop-up book aesthetic that helps make everything, well, pop. The visuals are sure to draw you in, but as soon as you start playing, all joy will disappear in favor of sadness and heartbreak. Cat Quest 2 is a disappointment on all fronts. The only lingering question is it me who changed or Cat Quest 2? The only way to find out is by revisiting the first game, but I don't want to risk all my good memories of Cat Quest 1 changing, so I'm going to keep those memories intact and leave this breakup saying to Cat Quest 2, it's not me, it's you. How you made me feel like number 2, I'm talking about poo, or in diuretic form, something akin to yoo-hoo. Remember the band Frou Frou? Anyway, that will do it for this here episode of Attack the Backlog. Once again, I am Marc. As y'all can find me on Twitter and pretty much everywhere at PXSausage. The site is, of course, pixelatedsausage.com, where you can find this podcast and the Pixelated Sausage podcast, both of which are available on podcast services across the globe. If you'd like to see me streaming games like Cat Quest 2, you can go over to twitch.tv/ pxsausage and watch me stream over there. And of course, if you already aren't watching the video version of this here show, you can go over to youtube.com/pixelated sausage and watch many a video over there. Like, subscribe, hit that bell, and all that jazz. If you'd like to listen to jazz, you can do that too, but if you'd like to check out the art I make, you can go back to the site pixelatedsausage.com, and if you see something you like, you can purchase a print of the piece you fancy. And if you fancy the site in general and anything that we do, please go over to patreon.com/pxs and support us that way. As always, thank you for watching or listening. I hope you enjoyed this here episode and have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful rest of your day.